As a neurologist who spent decades studying the brain, heart, and blood vessels, I always believed vegetables were universally safe, the ultimate good guys for your health. But over the years, I've been shocked by what I've witnessed in my practice. I've seen countless patients, people living what most of us would call a textbook healthy lifestyle, non-smokers, regular walkers, careful eaters, suddenly experience nighttime surges in blood pressure or even suffer silent strokes while they slept. And here's what's truly alarming. The culprit wasn't sugar, fast food, or lack of exercise. It was something they trusted completely. 5 vegetables most people consider heart-healthy superfoods. Now let me ask you something. Do you ever enjoy a late-night salad or sip on a vegetable juice before bed because it feels light, refreshing, and good for your heart? What if I told you that this simple habit, one you thought was protecting you, could actually make your blood thicker, your heartbeat harder, and quietly raise your risk of signs of heart attack or stroke between 3 and 5 a.m., the very hours when your body is supposed to be resting and recovering? Before you panic, here's the important part. There is a way to enjoy these foods safely. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 5 vegetables you must handle carefully at night, break down exactly why they can turn against you while you sleep, and most importantly, show you how to prevent heart attack naturally, without giving up the nutrients your body needs. And make sure you stay with me until the end, because one of these vegetables is commonly praised by doctors as a miracle food for circulation. But when eaten at the wrong time, it can secretly become your worst enemy at night. Let me introduce you to Robert. At 68, he was the picture of healthy living. He walked every morning, never smoked, stayed away from alcohol, and made sure every plate he ate was filled with colorful vegetables. His friends admired how disciplined he was, and even his doctor told him he was doing everything right. Every evening, Robert had a routine he thought would keep him healthy for years. A tall glass of beetroot juice and a fresh spinach and cucumber salad. He believed, like so many seniors do, that this was the ultimate formula for heart health for seniors. A light, nutrient-packed meal to support his heart and keep his blood pressure steady. But one morning, Robert's world flipped upside down. He woke up in confusion. His right arm felt like lead, his words came out slurred, and a wave of panic swept over him. Within hours, he was in a hospital bed, diagnosed with a minor stroke. His doctors discovered the culprit, a sudden nighttime surge in blood pressure. A spike so quick and silent, he didn't even wake up until the damage was done. For Robert, the scariest part wasn't just the stroke. It was the thought that he might never live alone again, never drive, never walk without help. All from a habit he thought was protecting him. Have you or someone you care about ever woken up dizzy, weak, or with a pounding heart despite eating healthy? Comment yes below. I want to know how many people have felt this. And here's the truth. Robert hadn't done anything wrong. He followed the advice most seniors hear every day. More greens, more superfoods, eat light at night. So what's really going on inside our bodies after dark? Why can these so-called healthy choices turn risky when the lights go out? Let's break it down. So what's really happening inside your body at night that can make certain vegetables, the very foods we're told to eat for health, quietly turn against you? Let's start with what your body naturally does when you sleep. As you enter deep sleep, your blood vessels gently constrict. This isn't dangerous by itself. It's your body's way of conserving energy and helping maintain blood pressure. But here's where it gets tricky. Most people, especially seniors, are already a little dehydrated by bedtime. Even if you don't feel thirsty, your body has lost fluids throughout the day. That subtle dehydration makes your blood thicker, a little heavier, and harder to push through those narrowed vessels. Now add another factor most people never think about. Your blood pressure doesn't stay flat at night. Between 3 and 5 a.m., your body naturally releases hormones like cortisol to prepare you to wake up. That surge raises your blood pressure, which is why these are the peak hours for silent heart attacks and strokes. Many emergency calls and hospital visits start just before dawn. On top of that, your liver and kidneys, your body's filters, slow down while you sleep. They're still working, but more sluggishly. That means anything in your bloodstream, including natural compounds from your food, electrolytes, or waste, lingers longer. Now picture what happens if, just before bed, you add vegetables rich in nitrates, oxalates, or those that act as natural diuretics. These compounds can tip your body's balance. Nitrates may lower your pressure initially, only for your vessels to clamp down harder later as your body tries to stabilize. Oxalates can thicken your blood, while diuretic vegetables drain electrolytes, making your vessels tighten even more. For younger people, the body often adapts, but for those over 60, this perfect storm can be enough to trigger irregular heartbeats, sudden spikes in blood pressure, or even tiny clots that silently lead to signs of heart attack or stroke while you sleep. Imagine your blood vessels as narrow pipes late at night. Now imagine that instead of water, you're trying to push syrup through those pipes, with bits of grit swirling inside. That's what your heart faces. The pressure builds, the walls strain, and all it takes is a tiny blockage for real trouble to hit. Have you ever woken up with your heart racing, feeling lightheaded or dizzy, even after what felt like a healthy dinner? Comment yes below. I want to know how many of you have felt this. The good news? By understanding which foods to time properly, you don't have to give up their benefits. Next, let's break down the 5 vegetables that can become risky at night, and how to keep them working for your heart, not against it. 1. Beetroot. Beetroot is often praised as a miracle food for circulation, and during the day, it truly can be. Packed with natural nitrates, beetroot helps your blood vessels relax, improves circulation, and gently lowers blood pressure when your body is active and alert. That's why so many people, especially those searching for the best diet for heart disease, drink beet juice daily to support their heart health. But here's the part most people never hear. At night, these same properties can quietly backfire. When you drink beet juice or eat beets in the evening, those nitrates often cause your blood pressure to drop at first. It feels harmless, maybe even relaxing. But as your body shifts into deep rest, it senses that drop and tries to stabilize things. To compensate, your blood vessels constrict more tightly. That rebound effect can cause your pressure to surge sharply, trigger arrhythmias, and force your heart to pump harder when it should be resting. For older adults, that extra strain can be the difference between a peaceful night and waking up with a pounding heart at 3 a.m. This doesn't mean you need to avoid beets. They're far too beneficial for your circulation to cut out. The solution is simple: timing. Enjoy your beet juice or roasted beets in the morning or around lunchtime, ideally before 4 p.m. This way, your body uses the nitrates to boost daytime circulation, not disturb your sleep. Have you been drinking beet juice at night to detox? Type beet in the comments if that's been your routine, and share how you felt after. Have you ever woken up at night with a racing heart after what you thought was a healthy evening snack? Comment yes if this sounds familiar. Now, beets aren't the only superfood that can misbehave after dark. The next one is another leafy green we've been told to eat every day, but it can quietly thicken your blood and nudge your pressure higher while you sleep. 2. Spinach. Spinach, one of the most recommended greens for anyone trying to stay healthy, is loaded with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Doctors praise it as a powerhouse for your heart, and it's often highlighted for heart health for seniors. But there's a detail most people aren't told. Spinach also contains a high level of oxalates, natural compounds that can bind with calcium. When that happens, it can stress your kidneys and subtly nudge your blood pressure upward. During the day, when you're active and well hydrated, your kidneys handle this load without much trouble. But at night, things change. Most of us are mildly dehydrated by bedtime, and your kidneys naturally slow down as you sleep. Add a bowl of raw spinach before bed, and that oxalate load can make your blood a bit stickier. Combined with naturally constricted blood vessels during deep sleep, your heart is suddenly working harder, even though you thought you made a smart, light choice. The good news? You don't have to cut spinach from your plate. Instead, make 2 simple changes. First, blanch it, a quick boil and drain to remove some of those oxalates. Second, pair it with magnesium-rich foods like almonds or pumpkin seeds. Magnesium helps relax your blood vessels, counteracting the natural tightening effect that raises your nighttime pressure. Have you ever felt your heart pound after a late-night healthy salad? Comment yes if that's ever happened to you. And if you regularly eat raw spinach at dinner, let me know. Type spinach in the comments. Now, spinach isn't the only innocent-looking food that can disrupt your body's balance at night. The next two, celery and cucumber, might be sitting in your fridge right now, waiting to wake you up at 2 a.m. 3. Celery and cucumber. Celery and cucumber, light, crunchy, and often seen as the perfect guilt-free late-night snack. They're low-calorie, refreshing, and feel like they can't possibly do any harm. But for some people, these two can quietly throw your system off balance while you sleep. Both celery and cucumber act as natural diuretics. In other words, they make you urinate more. On the surface, that might sound harmless, even cleansing. But here's the hidden catch. When you lose extra fluid at night, your electrolyte levels, especially sodium and potassium, can dip. Low electrolytes make your blood vessels constrict even further, just as your body is already tightening them during deep sleep. This can cause your heart to work overtime, pushing thicker blood through narrower vessels, which is why some people wake up with a racing heart or lightheadedness, despite eating what they thought was a clean meal. You don't need to ditch celery and cucumber. The key is adjusting how you eat them. Enjoy them earlier in the day, or if you like them later, add just a pinch of natural mineral salt. That small tweak helps keep your electrolyte levels stable and prevents those middle-of-the-night wake-ups with a pounding heartbeat. Ever had to get up multiple times to use the bathroom after a late salad? Comment yes if that's ever happened to you. And let me know in the comments, do you usually snack on celery or cucumber at night? Type celery or cucumber, and let's see which one is more popular. Next, let's talk about kale, the superstar green that can actually interfere with your medication and raise your risk if eaten at the wrong time. 4. Kale. Kale has become the superstar of the health world, often called one of the best sources of vitamins for heart health. It's loaded with fiber, minerals, and antioxidants, and nutritionists often recommend it for anyone looking to protect their heart. But for people over 60, especially those taking heart or blood-thinning medications, kale has a hidden side most don't realize. Kale is packed with vitamin K, a nutrient critical for healthy blood clotting. On its own, that's not a problem. But if you're taking blood thinners like warfarin or other anti-clotting drugs, too much vitamin K can counteract your medication's effects. When you eat kale close to bedtime, this can create a dangerous situation. Your blood naturally becomes thicker, and your circulation slows during deep sleep. And if your medication is less effective, you're at a higher risk of forming small clots overnight. You don't need to give up kale. The solution is timing and spacing. Eat kale in the morning or around lunch, and make sure you allow at least 4 to 6 hours between your serving and your blood thinner dose. This ensures you get kale's benefits, better digestion, antioxidants, and nutrients, without raising your overnight clotting risk. Are you currently on any blood thinner or heart medication? Comment yes so I know how many of you might need extra guidance on managing greens safely. And do you usually eat kale at dinner or earlier in the day? Type dinner or daytime. I'm curious to see how most people use it. The last vegetable on this list might surprise you. It's light, plant-based, and often included in diets for heart health for seniors. But its natural compounds can actually rev up your nervous system and disrupt your sleep. Number 5. Mung beans and sprouts. Mung beans and their sprouts are frequently recommended in lists for the best diet for heart disease, and even as nutrient-rich sources of vitamins for heart health. They're plant-based, low in fat, packed with protein and minerals, and easy to digest, or so most people think. What many don't realize, especially when it comes to heart health for seniors, is that mung beans and sprouts are naturally high in purines and mild metabolic stimulants. These compounds activate your sympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that drives the fight or flight response. That means your heart rate can rise, your blood vessels tighten, and your body may stay in a slightly alert state when it should be winding down for deep, restorative sleep. For younger adults, this stimulation might not matter much, but for anyone over 60, particularly those with high blood pressure or irregular heart rhythms, this extra nighttime activation can cause restless sleep, blood pressure spikes, and even raise the risk of tiny clots forming, especially since your blood is already thicker during sleep hours. You don't need to avoid mung beans or sprouts. Just shift when you eat them. Have them at lunch, when your metabolism is higher and your circulation is stronger, rather than at dinner or as a midnight snack. That way, you enjoy their protein, fiber, and minerals without making your heart and brain work harder overnight. Which of these 5 vegetables do you eat most often? Type 15 in the comments based on the list. And let me know, do you typically eat them more at lunch or dinner? A small shift in timing could make a huge difference for your heart and your sleep. I know many of you still enjoy vegetables at night, and sometimes life doesn't let you change your dinner habits. If that's the case, here are 3 practical, natural ways to protect your heart and circulation while you sleep. First, about 30 minutes before bed, sip a warm glass of water with a small pinch of natural mineral salt. This helps keep your electrolytes balanced and your blood flowing smoothly, which can lower the chance of those 3 a.m. pressure surges. Second, take 5 minutes to either practice slow, deep breathing, in through your nose, out through your mouth, or a gentle walk around your home. Both help relax your blood vessels, calm your nervous system, and can quietly work as natural methods for how to prevent heart attack during those vulnerable early morning hours. Finally, if you must have vegetables with dinner, go for gentler choices. A serving of steamed pumpkin or a warm, nitrate-free veggie soup is much easier on your blood pressure and won't overload your circulation while you sleep. Which of these tips will you try tonight? Type water, breathing, or pumpkin in the comments so I can see what's most helpful. And remember, the miracle heart vegetable I mentioned at the start? It's beetroot. Incredible for your circulation during the day, but a risky trigger if it's part of your late-night routine. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you eat any of these vegetables at night? Have you ever experienced warning signs like a racing heartbeat, sudden dizziness, or even needing emergency care because your blood pressure spiked while you were asleep? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might be the one that helps someone else recognize early danger signs and protect their own health. And here's the truth I want you to remember. True heart health for seniors isn't only about choosing the so-called right foods. It's about understanding when your body can handle them best. The timing of your meals can be just as important as what's on your plate. When you know how your body changes at night, how your blood vessels tighten, your blood thickens slightly, and your pressure naturally rises, you gain control. You can still enjoy every nutrient-rich green and superfood on this list. You just eat them in a way that supports the best diet for heart disease and keeps your heart calm while you rest. Which one of these 5 vegetables surprised you most? Type its number in the comments, 1 to 5, so we can see which food caught the most people off guard. Get the timing right, and you'll avoid those 3 a.m. scares, sleep deeply, and wake up feeling stronger, steadier, and more independent every single day.